Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to Sister Wives with Mary Jane K. Today, I'll be giving my commentary on Sister Wives, Season 18, Episode 18, the one-on-one special, Part 4. I'm going to be taking next week off and probably the week after that, but I will be back on January 7th with the first half of Christine and David's wedding special. And of course, the week after that, I'll be back with the second half of the wedding special. And when that's done, I'll resume with the Sister Wives rewatch exactly where I left off. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and an amazing New Year's, a happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And for those of you who don't get the big family experience and the table laden with feast and the fireplace roaring in the background, enjoy your day, enjoy your time, do what you love in peace. Drink your favorite wine, smoke a lovely joint, listen to your favorite songs, read your favorite book, watch your favorite movie, do your favorite hobby, take a bath, take a walk, do whatever brings you peace and joy. Do what you love. Be safe, enjoy yourself, be merry. Okay, let's get into it. The episode opens with Suki telling Mary how Christine found her soulmate, and she asks Mary if she thinks Mary will find her soulmate too. Mary has hope that she will one day, and Mary has met David a couple of times, and she thinks David seems nice. She really hasn't gotten to know David very well yet, or Christine and David as a couple very well, but Mary is very excited for the happy couple. Mary says Christine seems very happy, and so she is very excited for Christine, and she really wants Christine to be happy. And I think Christine really wants to see Mary happy as well. Janelle has met David too, and she loves him. You can tell. She is gushing. She has a huge smile on her face, and she thinks David is great. She's met him. They've hung out a bunch, and Janelle interacts with David, and the more she interacts with him, the more she thinks he is a really great guy. Janelle describes David as a breath of fresh air with Christine. Christine's OG sister wives really sing David's praises. Janelle reveals that Christine told her she didn't know what it was like to be loved like this until David. And Cody says he met David for 15 minutes and he had a mild and light conversation with Cody. Apparently, David mostly talked with Robin. Robin thought David was sweet. Cody says Christine has chosen David, so he thinks it's a good match, but he doesn't really know. He says he knows nothing. Suki asks Cody if he remembers the lunch he had with Christine. And Cody asks Suki if it's the lunch where he told Christine he thought she would just drive a truck over him if she could, where Christine laughs hysterically after he mentions that in a very cynical way, according to Cody. And Cody says he was in a bad place back then during that lunch. And at that time, he really didn't like Christine at all. But he says he wishes Christine the absolute best. He hopes for her all the happiness in life. But Suki finishes Cody's sentence. And she tells Cody it was a hard conversation. It was a hard lunch. They play the flashback clip of it so that Kotex can comment on it. It always feels like Suki is really coddling Cody and Robin and really managing them. In the flashback scene, Cody explains that it's uncomfortable seeing Christine for the first time at this lunch. And Cody explains that he feels so betrayed after all he has done for this marriage. And after Christine was shit-talking him to the kids, he feels like in his heart that he just never wants to see Christine again. He wants to spend some time just hating her. Cody mentions at the lunch how Gwen won't be here for Christmas, and he explains that he was sick during her birthday. He was laid up during the Rona. And Christine mentions that he was so out of it, and Gwen found it amusing. And Cody wonders if Gwen found it funny too, the way Christine does. He says he was out of his mind. He was so sick. And Cody says he is talking about getting anxiety and depression here. And Christine says she knows, and she's sorry to laugh a little bit, but it was her laughing at Gwen's description of him when he was sick, the way he was behaving when he was sick. That's what was funny. And Cody is very resentful, and he tells Christine, well, it's okay, she's mean that way, so it's okay. Now, Christine explains to Cody that she was laughing at Gwen's description of him when he was sick because he was so out of it. And she asks, what are you going to do? Laugh or cry about things? And she feels if you can't look back with a sense of humor, then what a waste. Definitely. I agree with Christine. Now, Cody whines that he was in the fetal position on the floor, that he was sobbing during his sickness, that it was really bad. Listen, I'm sorry, but Cody is a drama queen. He's a total diva. And he seems to be one of those people who will milk their illness for attention, for every drop of attention they can get. These type of people get sick and they act like the sky is falling. That's what it seems like to me. And Cody is very selfish. So he's probably was being very dramatic and exaggerating a lot and making it seem like he was the only person who was this sick ever in the history of the earth. Cody's very selfish. During his illness, he not only missed his daughter Gwen's birthday, but he forgot Gabe's birthday as well. Cody is very overdramatic. He's very selfish. He over-exaggerates. And it's probably laughable how exaggerated and dramatic Cody is when he is sick. The way that he behaves, probably even with the least affliction. A paper cut probably becomes like he's dying of pneumonia. So I can understand maybe Christine and Gwen having a couple laughs about how their dad over-exaggerates a little bit when he's sick, a few chuckles, and I don't think that it's mean-spirited and I don't think that it's bullying. Cody explains in this flashback scene during confessional, he says he isn't laughing. He isn't laughing here. He hasn't been laughing with Christine leaving. He has never been laughing about this thing. Christine is laughing during her confessional scene during the flashback. She's laughing hysterically. And she says she apologizes for her reaction and laughing and finding it humorous. But she says it's so freaking awesome not to be married to Cody anymore. She is relieved. It's awesome not to be married to this man. And Cody tells Christine, if you get him in the wrong place, then he is just venom and vitriol. So now Cody's emotions, of course, are Christine's fault. His anger is on Christine or whoever upsets him in the moment. His emotions, his anger, his upset, according to Cody, that's not in his control. It's everyone else's fault. If they get him to a place where he's angry and in this place, then they're just going to get venom and vitriol out of him if he's in that wrong place. And it's the other person's fault that he reacted that way or that he's having those emotions. It's not his fault. He's not accountable for his own emotions. Cody's anger or vitriol or venom or whatever emotion he's experiencing is not his fault. It's not his fault for not being able to manage his own emotions. Listen, Cody's emotions are Cody's responsibility. Christine tells Cody that it's okay that he still hates her sometimes. And Cody says he thinks Christine likes it. He tells Christine he thinks it gives her satisfaction if he does hate her. And Christine explains to Cody, no, actually, it's heartbreaking. And Cody asks Christine if she's sure. This is how bitter Cody is. Christine really doesn't think about Cody. Christine says she thinks about Cody less than he thinks she thinks about him. Christine says she really doesn't think about him that much. Cody feels he needs to now figure out how to forgive Christine, but he probably will never trust her. The question he should be asking is, can she trust him? She is the mother of his kids. She is supposedly trying to co-parent with him. Can she trust him? He should be worrying about building his trust back with her so that they can co-parent together. Instead, selfishly, he's only thinking from his perspective. During this lunch scene, Cody tells Christine he wishes he were more ambivalent towards her. Christine doesn't want him to pretend. She says there's no point in that. And Cody says he thinks Christine is Machiavellian. She plays nice while stabbing him in the back. Obviously, that's not true. All of this is projection. If anyone's the Machiavellian one, it's Cody. Now, Cody tells Christine the evil thoughts he had about her, and then he makes the FU symbol, like he's had these evil thoughts about Christine, if she would have known them. And Christine asks if it's grief over her leaving, grief that something is over now. And Cody explains to Christine that it's bigger than that. It's his big picture. And Christine says in the flashback scene that it's like Cody is trying to blame her for destroying his big picture. But he doesn't see that his actions over the course of 10 years is what has demolished his big picture. Christine says you can't just pick favorites. You can't just stay at one person's house and expect to still have a big picture of a big, huge, happy family when they don't even have relationships with most of the people in that picture. None of this is on Christine. Cody is to blame for his big picture being destroyed. Christine has nothing to do with it. It's not fair to put that on Christine. The only person who destroyed Cody's big picture is Cody's behavior and toxic ways, his neglect, his manipulation, his emotional abuse, all of those things, him having a favorite wife, all of that led to the disintegration and destruction of his big picture. Christine had nothing to do with it. Cody is the one who needs to be accountable for the destruction of the big picture. Cody is the one who prioritized his marriage to Robin and her kids over the larger picture of the whole big family. After the clip, Suki wants Cody to talk about the word hate that he used. And Cody says it was an uncomfortable life with Christine. When they were in Vegas, it got worse. And then in Flagstaff, it got even worse. And Christine said that she was going to leave. And Cody says he never wanted that to happen. So Cody says he was going. So we have suffered all of these years. And then you're just going to quit that. After all these years of suffering with Christine, she was just going to quit. That was his feeling. But what bothers Cody is the disposition that she had towards him. She laughed and she mocked his suffering, laughing about it. And Cody thought, well, she would drive a truck over him if she could. Cody says she was saying no, she wouldn't, but she was laughing while she enjoyed his suffering. And Cody says that pissed him off. He says Christine was teasing and pushing buttons and being the mean girl. That's not what I saw. Christine isn't a mean girl. We all know Cody is a diva. He's overdramatic. He's overdramatic when he's sick. He's overdramatic all the time, just like his wife. And he was milking his sickness for all it was worth, acting like an insane person. And he was wanting sympathy. He was wanting empathy. He was wanting attention. And any minor affliction with someone like Cody means the sky is falling. And he expects everyone around him to drop everything, to coddle him and make him their priority, like he's a baby who needs to be nursed back to health. My guess is Cody forgot Gabe's birthday, he missed Gwen's birthday, and he was being really overdramatic with his sickness. And Gwen probably maybe acted it out or did an impersonation of her dad. And maybe she and Christine chuckled at it a little, knowing how overdramatic he is, knowing how dramatic Cody is with everything. And Cody was complaining about being in the fetal position on the floor. And Christine was laughing at how selfish and dramatic Cody is, about how exaggerated he is. You know, Cody's a self-proclaimed alpha male, but he acts like he has no balls at all. I have seen people with terminal, life-threatening, painful illnesses complain less than Cody and make less of a fuss than Cody did when he was sick. If Christine chuckling just a little was upsetting for Cody, maybe he is the one who needs to grow a thicker skin. Cody is overly sensitive when it comes to himself. He's very weak and insecure. Gwen and Christine chuckling at his hysteria and how overboard he goes felt like bullying to Cody. That just shows how frail he is and how fragile and how weak. I can't imagine how hard it is for Robin to keep feeding that ego if he is really that delicate. Christine is no mean girl. Cody is a sensitive twat, and he's only sensitive about himself. He's insensitive and cruel to everyone around him. Only when it comes to him, he's a sensitive twat. Oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And he's just trying to villainize Christine and make her seem mean and make her seem like a bully when she's not. A real man would know himself and be self-aware enough to be able to laugh at themselves and be self-aware to know, yeah, when I get sick, I'm a little dramatic, ha ha ha, and not take it to heart. Cody acts like an elementary schooler with the way he tries to call Christine a bully, as if she's the schoolyard bully. It's fucking ridiculous. It's childish behavior. Cody is far too sensitive and delicate about himself, but he doesn't have that sensitivity and delicateness when it comes to the other people in his family. You know, I thought Cody said he was an alpha male. He used to proclaim it all the time. I'm an alpha male, I'm an alpha male. But we don't see any of that behavior from him. Cody is full of contradictions. He's an alpha male. He's a victim. He's picked on. He's mocked. Christine is the one who destroyed his family. Then Christine didn't destroy his family. Then 2 seconds later, Cody doesn't even know who the fuck he is anymore or what he thinks anymore. He's a book of walking contradictions. Who the fuck is this man? Does he even know? He can't even get a grip on himself. Suki asks Cody if it was hard to see that Christine was happy in that clip when she went to the lunch and saw him after such a long time after they had separated and she had moved. And Suki wants Cody to acknowledge that Christine was happy in that clip in that moment. But Cody says Christine isn't happy in that moment. She's mean. There's a difference, and he knows. He knows Christine well, and she wasn't happy she was being mean. And Cody says, sure, Christine is happy. She is mocking everything about his pain and anything he has gone through. She is mocking it, Cody says. Cody says Christine laughs out loud if he trips and falls, and she thinks that stuff is funny. Cody is paranoid, and Cody is also trying to villainize Christine. He's trying to make Christine look bad to make himself feel better for treating her like shit. So now Cody is trying to villainize Christine, try and make her look like the bully, the mean girl, and the bad guy, just so he can feel better about himself, which is exactly what he projected last episode that his ex-wives do to him. Cody doesn't give a fuck about his wives. He doesn't give a fuck about how his wives suffered or about how his kids suffered as a result of his neglect, as a result of his favoritism, as a result of his emotional abuse, as a result of his selfishness. Cody doesn't care about anyone else's feelings or any of the pain he causes with his cruelty to the family, to the people that he deemed the obstacles to his goals in life. But Cody wants the whole world to stop because Christine chuckled a little at how much of a diva Cody was being when he was sick, acting like the sky was falling, like a man baby. Cody wants all this attention and all this sympathy and all this compassion for being sick. He wasn't even there for his daughter's major surgery. Cody says he has tripped, he has fallen. This has literally unraveled his family, and this has destroyed all of his dreams. And now Christine is riding off into the sunset to a happier life, and he is sitting here not picking up the pieces, but just in the place where he's going. He guesses now he has to figure out how his life looks. Cody feels sorry for himself. I think he's jealous, and I think he resents the fact that Christine is happy. I think he's angry that Christine is happy and that she found a real man. Cody wanted to be rid of Christine. He wanted to be rid of the obstacles to his goals in life. And Christine found someone much better than Cody. And Cody is now pissed that Christine gets to be happy. And he thought he wanted to be free from his obstacles to his goals in life. And he is miserable, and he has to contend with the weight of knowing his monogamy came at the cost of his whole family. And he is the bad guy. He is the villain in this story. And he wants to project that onto Christine and make her the villain. She is the villain. She gets to be happy. He gets to be miserable, and it's all her fault, according to Cody. She left, of course, and none of this is on him. She's the one who left. She's the one who ruined the big picture. So notice, Christine is to blame for unraveling his family, according to Cody. Christine is to blame for ruining Cody's big picture, for ruining Cody's dream. But Cody's big picture was never his family. Again, Cody referred to his family, his wives, his kids, as the obstacles to his goals in life. The obstacles were not his big picture. They were not the goal. They were what hindered his big picture. And the family he deemed the obstacles to his goals in life, the ex-wives he deemed the obstacles to his goals in life, he methodically, intentionally pushed out the door with his hoops for everyone to jump through, his neglect, and with his toxic behavior and emotional abuse. Cody is projecting big time. All he has done is blame his ex-wives, especially Janelle and Christine and their kids. And he is the one being paranoid, accusing them all of colluding and banding together to influence members of the family against him, to influence the kids against him, to shit talk him. These women have contributed a lot to the larger family. They always prioritize the larger family ahead of themselves, ahead of their marriages, ahead of everything, ahead of their own happiness even. Christine, with her caregiving and her nurturing, the heart of the Brown family, even despite leaving Cody, she is still the nucleus of the family. She, Janelle, and their kids are still the nucleus of this family, even without Cody. Cody is the mean one. Cody is the bully. Cody is the one constantly driving the bus over his ex-wives and his other kids. He is the mean one. He is the cruel one. He is the sadistic one. Thriving in the family's chaos, getting off on their pain and suffering, being intentionally cruel. Cody and his shop lady wife with the best customer service are the bullies. They're the mean ones. Cody is projecting big time onto Christine. He totally enjoyed Mary's suffering as well. He twisted the knife whenever possible with Mary. Cody claims that Christine enjoys his suffering when he is the one who delights in hurting his whole family. His optics are more important to Cody than his kids or their suffering or what they're feeling or validating his ex-wives and what they experienced. Cody puts himself first. His emotions come first. What he wants comes first. He doesn't give a fuck about his kids and what they experience or his wives and what they experienced when they were married to him. And they had the displeasure of being married to a man like him. Cody says he didn't want Christine to leave when he is the one who pushed her out. He pushed Christine to the brink. He didn't attend his daughter's major surgery. He was absent in Christine's house and with her kids. And he also stopped being intimate with Christine. And then he tried to use sex as a bargaining chip with Christine, his wife. And sex was off the table unless she could be a better sister wife to Robin. In other words, Cody would only consider sex with Christine as his wife if she behaved more deferentially to the favorite wife. And Cody wanted Christine to leave, in my opinion. He knew already that she felt she didn't matter to Cody as much as Robin did. Christine was very vocal about it, but Cody did nothing about it. Cody's neglect was hurting her kids. It started affecting her kids and causing them pain. And now Cody was also using sex as a manipulation tool in their marriage as a bargaining chip for her to be friendlier to the favorite wife, Robin. And Cody is saying, oh, Christine left. It wasn't in his hands. He didn't want this. It wasn't his fault he didn't love her. Cody wanted this. Cody wanted to be free from the obstacles to his goals in life. Cody intentionally pushed Christine out. And here he is saying now that he never wanted her to leave, that Christine quit, when he knows he intentionally abandoned her as a husband in so many ways. He gave her 10 million hoops to jump through, and she was never good enough. He didn't love her. He wasn't attracted to her. He was hurting their kids too with his neglect, and he gave her no choice but to leave because he was negative. He was negative energy. He was negative in so many ways. He was hurting the kids emotionally. He was emotionally abusive to Christine and the kids, and he could not give Christine what she deserved. And he also treated her as less than his equal. She wasn't even his equal. He did not respect her or care about her. Cody is the one who destroyed his family. Cody is a big reason why Christine left. He wasn't willing to invest in that relationship. It's not on Christine. Christine tried for years. Christine isn't the bully here. Cody is the one being outrageous, saying outrageous, outlandish things about Christine, frankly. If anyone's the bully in this situation, it's Cody. Look at all the shit talking he has done on his ex-wives, the mothers of his kids. Look at all the shit talking he's done on his kids. Look at how he underestimates everyone's intelligence, including his kids, by saying Christine is a bully, by suggesting that his kids can't think for themselves, that Christine influences them and pits them against him as if they can't think for themselves. Look at who the real bully is. Look at who the real bullies are in the family in general. We have Robin, who was calling Christine a liar in her own home, disrespecting her. We have Robin throwing Janelle's sons under the bus more than once. We have Robin calling Isabel stupid for wanting to attend in-person class. We have Robin trying to triangulate Cody in to badmouth Christine, to manipulate Janelle, to break up that friendship so that she would have room to be friends with Robin, which is what Robin wanted. All of that is bully behavior. All of that is toxic. All of that is mean girl behavior. And all of that bullying, Robin and her kids also did during the Christmas gift exchange, trying to hijack that Christmas gift exchange text thread with the siblings. Robin and her kids took what was supposed to be light and fun, a fun experience with the siblings, and they made it all about themselves and their trauma and their emotions selfishly, almost in a bullying type of manner. They took that opportunity during an inappropriate time to complain about how they are all rejected, hassling the siblings, making them all feel incredibly uncomfortable at a very inappropriate time, talking about how they were rejected, how they can't now even have their own families. They're so traumatized by this blended family experience. It was so traumatizing they can't even have their own families. That's very inappropriate. That's very manipulative. And that is bullying, to put all of their trauma on these people who it's not their fault. That is not the time or the place for any of that. Using your unhealed trauma to manipulate people is bullying, and it's not okay. Cody bullies Mary every chance he gets. He accuses Janelle and Christine of colluding against him in his paranoia when they're not. That's bullying. He accuses Christine of destroying his family and the big picture. And Robin does her share of that too. That's bullying. Christine mocking Cody for being a diva when he is sick isn't mean, and it isn't bullying. I felt like Cody mocked his kids' suffering on Christmas too, by the way. He was able to spend all of Christmas with Robin and her kids, giving them full attention, investing in them fully, giving them attention, getting them all presents. They all got mini bikes. Yet Cody couldn't even bother to text or call his other kids or get them gifts on Christmas. That's mocking them. That's mocking the pain and the suffering and the love that they have for their dad. And that is bullying, because that is emotionally abusive. That was being hateful to them in a way to hurt them. And he was hurting the kids to punish their moms who Cody was mad at. That's why he neglected the kids. That's mean, and that's bullying. Cody didn't care that his kids suffered on Christmas while Robin's kids got full investment and attention from him. Cody didn't care that it was mean or that it was cruel or that he was doing it in a way to punish the moms because he wanted to hurt the kids as a way to get back at them because he was mad at them. Cody didn't consider the suffering and the cruelty of that. Cody doesn't consider the suffering he causes, but he wants us all to care that Christine mocked him because he over-exaggerates when he's ill like a man baby. It's also interesting, by the way, that Cody mentions Christine riding off into the sunset to a happier life. Wasn't that what Janelle said she feared would happen in season 1 with Cody and Robin, that they would ride off into the sunset together? You know, Cody and Robin, they have monogamous bliss. Cody is free from the obstacles to his goals in life, and they look more miserable than they ever have. When Cody complains that he never wanted this, he didn't want Christine to leave, he never wanted this, he never wanted this for his family. Don't believe it for a second. Cody wanted this. Again, he said, my family, my wives, and my kids are the obstacles to my goals in life. Clearly, Cody wanted to be free from his obstacles. He neglected his kids. He alienated them. He favored one wife and her kids over everyone else in this plural family. And now he wants to blame Christine for destroying the family, for destroying his big picture. But Christine isn't to blame. Christine is right. Cody and Cody's behavior alone, Cody's actions, Cody's inaction have led to the unraveling of his family and his big picture. And this has nothing to do with Christine. Cody destroyed every relationship he has had in the family, almost every relationship, because of his own toxic behavior. Cody will never take accountability. It's easier for him to blame Christine. He still blames Christine, even though he has no basis for that. Cody will blame anyone but Cody, anyone but himself, and he is actually the real root cause of the shitstorm. He's never going to admit it, though. Christine says she will always love the Disney villains more than the princesses. And she explains in that clip that she was thinking she hid so much from Cody in the past. So much. Of course, he has such a precious ego. You can't even make a light joke at his expense. He's not self-aware enough to be able to even laugh at himself. So of course, I'm sure you have to hold back a lot just having any type of relationship with him, just even being his friend. I can't even imagine being married to someone like that and the amount of work that it would take, because you could never probably be your true self. Now, Christine had to hide a lot from Cody. She had to coddle Cody. So now she is going to laugh at Cody, she says. And she says when she was just chuckling about Cody and how exaggerated he was about his sickness, she was just being a Disney villain. And she says if she were to be a Disney villain, she would absolutely be Cruella. And she was thinking of the Emma Stone's version of Cruella. And Christine says it felt crazy to laugh at Cody. It felt good. Christine says yes, it felt good because she could just be herself. She asks Suki rhetorically, and could I just be me sometimes with Cody? And Christine answers herself. She responds, no. He didn't like that he only wanted me to be positive. He only wanted me to be fun. He only liked the fun, little, bubbly part of her. Christine says, guess what? Cody doesn't get that part of her anymore. She isn't married to him anymore. She doesn't have to be all, oh, I'm sorry that you didn't feel good about that, and stuff all of that in. Christine is done stuffing anything in anymore. Christine laughs and she says she isn't going to stuff it in anymore with Cody. He gets to see it. He is going to see everything good God. You know what I feel like? These women have had to put themselves in a box and become a small fraction of who they are. They have to become a shadow of themselves to be able to live with a man like Cody, a man this toxic, especially in this plural situation. They couldn't even be themselves. I can't imagine how hard it was. The walking on eggshells, the constant emotional gymnastics, dealing with the suffering, dealing with the emotional roller coasters, contending with the complexities of being married to a selfish, fragile, insecure man baby who is also married to other women. I can't even imagine how these women did it for so long. Christine explains, she had to keep sweet. She had to be easy. She had to be convenient so that Cody would invest in her and make her feel secure in their relationship during the limited time that they had together. She could only be a mask, a shadow of herself. She couldn't really even be herself. And to do that for decades must feel so suffocating, to not be seen for so long and to not be allowed to have the freedom to just be who you are and to just be yourself, especially with your husband. It seems like Christine had to be convenient at all times. She had to be bubbly, whether she felt like it or not. She had to be fun. She couldn't be all of the other parts of herself to Cody, her husband. She couldn't be her true self all the time in front of her husband. Imagine how hard that is year after year, how hopeless you feel, how suffocated, how alone you feel. Not only could Christine not be herself in front of her husband, but she couldn't be honest about how she felt about him. She couldn't ever be critical of him. She couldn't ever give constructive criticism. It would become a problem if she did. She would then become inconvenient for him, and then it would affect the love he showed to Christine. And she made it clear last episode that all of the women had to do that. They had to earn Cody's love. All three of the OG3 felt that way. They felt they had to earn his love, and they never felt like they were good enough, and they never felt like they were enough. They always had to be what Cody wanted them to be. Imagine what that feels like as a wife, as a human being, as a mother, as a woman, to have to live with that for so long. Cody was very stingy. He was very frugal with his love. And all the wives recounted last episode how you had to earn Cody's love. You had to earn his favor by being just as he wanted you to be, by being convenient, by being pleasing, by keeping sweet. Christine is relieved that now she can breathe. She can be herself, and she probably doesn't have to feel so constricted anymore. She probably feels like she can breathe again and like she couldn't breathe for so long. It seems to me like Cody really conditioned these women to be his version of them, what he wanted them to be. And if they weren't that, if they weren't easy, if they weren't convenient, if they weren't fun, if they weren't positive, if they weren't just sweet and easy, just the way he liked, then they felt unloved and they felt insecure and they felt unworthy. And then Cody would pull back his love and affection. And that is so abusive, and that is so toxic, and that is so painful. And I can't imagine how these women felt. So again, Cody wants to complain about feeling bullied by Christine because she laughed a little bit about his sickness and how exaggerated and overdramatic he was, but he worries about his ego. He worries about his feelings. But can Cody consider for 1 second what it felt like to be Christine, to not be seen, to not be able to be herself? Maybe when she didn't feel like she was sweet. Maybe when she didn't feel like she wanted to be fun and bubbly, on a bad day, on a day she was sad, on a day she felt hopeless, on a day she was stressed, on a day she was just tired with it all, where she had to just put on a smile and flip a switch to be the version of herself Cody expected her to be, just so that he would dispense some crumbs of love and some line of rope, some line of hope, some hope to keep her going through her week. Does Cody consider what that felt like? Cody's worried about his feelings when no one's even making fun of him. He's accusing them of bullying him. But does Cody really consider how Christine felt in her marriage? How she may have felt on a bad day when she felt like shit on the inside, but she had to flip a switch and be fun and bubbly and positive and everything he wanted her to be so that he would give her some love so that she would feel secure in this plural situation? Does he understand how that felt? So Cody doesn't have a right to talk about how he feels bullied or how he was mocked. How does he think his wives felt being unseen and feeling suffocated and being unrecognized and having their voices be quieted, being unheard and unseen all those decades being married to a man like him? Next, Suki asks Cody if he blames Christine for ruining the big picture. Now, a few minutes ago, Cody said it was Christine's fault, but now Cody says no, even though a few seconds ago he blamed her. Not 1 minute ago, he blamed her during this very episode. But he says no, he doesn't blame Christine for ruining the big picture. Cody says that's all his fault for marrying a woman he didn't love. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And he didn't love her, but he is using this as an excuse now to say that it's not his fault. Cody says it's the truth that he didn't love Christine, and Christine knows that. And Cody says as hard as he worked at it, as hard as he dug into it, he says he had every devotion he could have, and that still was prevailing for them. Their marriage, it just never really worked between them. Cody knew he didn't love Christine way before he married her. He knew he wasn't attracted to Christine. He admitted he married her for her church clout. Cody knew it was a mistake way before he married Christine. Before they got married, he tried to get Christine to delay the wedding. He felt like it was a mistake. And on the wedding day, he felt like it was a mistake. He wasn't happy. He was morose. He had a 1,000-yard stare. Cody knew. It screamed at him from the rooftops that this was wrong. And Cody knew, and he went along with it anyway because of what was in it for him. And Cody is at fault for knowing that it was a mistake way before the wedding and marrying Christine anyway. He knew this woman was head over heels in love with him, and he married her because his ego liked the supply that Christine gave him. Marrying Christine elevated Cody's status. She was church royalty. She came from a family of church leadership, of the elders, and she elevated Cody in their church when he married her. Cody married Christine for his own benefit. He knew he didn't love her. He knew it wasn't a good match. He married her because of what was in it for him. And he knew this woman was head over heels in love with him. He knew he didn't feel anything for her. He didn't really care about her. He didn't even particularly like her, but he married her anyway because of what was in it for him. It is Cody's fault. He knew better and he went through with it anyway because he was getting a lot out of this marriage to Christine. And he led Christine to believe that it was romantic for him, that he loved her too, knowing full well that he didn't. So Cody can say, oh, it wasn't his fault that he didn't love her all he wants. But Cody knew better, and Cody knows that. And Cody knows he married Christine for selfish reasons, for his own self-gain. Next, Suki asks Christine if she really thinks Robin actually wants to live a plural life at this point from what she has been seeing. Christine hesitates with a sly smile on her face, but Suki says it's a fair question because that's been a gripe of a lot of the sister wives up until this point. Christine agrees, yeah, that's been an issue, and she doesn't think Robin has any desire to live polygamy or a plural marriage. She doesn't think so. Suki tells Cody that Christine had mentioned that Robin doesn't really want to live a plural lifestyle. And Cody acts like he's shocked, and then he asks Christine as if he's dumbfounded by this. And then Cody says he doesn't think Christine knows Robin at all. Cody says Christine has never tried, she has never been there. And Cody resentfully says that Christine was a shitty sister wife, and he hopes she will probably be a very good wife for David. Cody says Christine just wasn't a fit. There are 1,000 reasons why in the aftermath, looking back, where you can say these are all the reasons Christine wasn't good in polygamy. And Cody says it's probably all of the same reasons he wasn't good in polygamy. Cody says no, he doesn't know that to be true, that Robin doesn't want to live a plural lifestyle. But he says to make that accusation against Robin, that's just sour graping. And Cody says he would think that now that Christine is in love with David, that she should prove that out by never saying another mean thing about Robin. Because according to Cody, that's when he will believe that Christine is in love, when she doesn't have anything bad to say about Robin or about him to their children anymore. You know, Christine can be completely in love with David and still have critical things to say about Cody or about Robin. Who gives a fuck if Cody thinks Christine is in love with David or not? I wouldn't give a fuck what Cody thought. Cody is saying that he won't buy it, that Christine is actually in love unless Christine adapts her behavior to what he wants. He still wants to control Christine even when he's not her husband. He wants Christine to adapt her behavior, not to be critical of him or Robin or to their kids. But one thing doesn't have any bearing on another. Cody is giving it conditions so that when Christine keeps telling her truth, using her voice, being critical of him or being critical of Robin, Cody can then take that example and say, see, she is still not over me. She's still not over this. She doesn't actually love David, so that he can be critical of her relationship as a deflection. Christine can be very in love with David, and she can still want to use her voice to tell her truth about her experience with Cody and Robin. And some of those things might be critical of Robin or critical of Cody, and that has no bearing on her not being in love with David or her relationship with David or her love with David. I tell you what, I'll believe Kotex is in love with Goblin when he stops being mean to his kids and speaking ill of their mothers. If Cody's love for his wife correlates to him trash-talking people, I guess we can't believe that he loves Goblin. Cody has nothing between his ears, just air. He has no rational thinking. He has no logic. When Cody said he hoped Christine would make a good wife to David, Cody should understand Christine's whole purpose in life isn't just to be a wife. And it's also not Cody's place to worry about what kind of a wife Christine is. Just because he has no idea how to be a good husband to a beautiful, independent, intelligent woman, just because Cody isn't man enough, he wants to now villainize Christine and make it seem like she may not be a good wife. It only makes him look scorned, bitter, and miserable just the way he is. Cody looks pathetic, and he looks like less of a man and more like a baby, and that's what he acts like too. It's sad that a man his age has no capacity to behave better than what he's behaving like now. Cody will never consider the fact that he was a bad husband to Christine, that she was too much of a woman for him, that she just was too good for him. Cody will never consider the fact that he was a bad husband to Christine and that Robin was also a manipulative and conniving sister wife to Christine as well. Christine tells Suki that she remembers standing in her kitchen at one point and she thought, oh, this is how Cody feels about Robin. How she feels about David is how Cody and Robin feel about each other. And then she thought, oh, and then she realized she would never want to leave or go to somebody else's house if she was in Cody's situation. And Christine says, Cody and Robin, they deserve to be happy. And she says, go, be happy with each other for goodness sakes. And she says, be happy with each other and let the rest of us go. Let us go. Christine pleads, stop being angry and then we can all get along again. Let it go and stop being mad. That's what she hopes for Cody and for Robin. Cody and Robin aren't capable of that. They're going to be miserable probably for the rest of their lives. Now, Suki asks Janelle if she thinks Cody will take on another sister wife, and Janelle says no. He's now talking more and more about how as they move forward into monogamy, things will be. So Janelle thinks that's where Cody is headed. Suki asks Janelle if she thinks Robin will bring somebody into the family, but Janelle doesn't foresee it. In fact, Janelle is so sure that it won't happen that she bets Suki right now that if Cody remarries, she will give her $1,000. That's how sure she is that it'll never happen. Janelle thinks Robin and Cody are very happy and they have found something deep together and it works. And Janelle says that's okay. She's not upset about it. And she says someday maybe she would like to find the same thing for herself, but not right now and not for a while. Suki asks Cody, let's say Robin found a potential sister wife and introduced her into this. She wonders, would that be a possibility? And Cody says, if Robin went and chased down somebody like Mary chased down Robin, Cody says, nah, he wouldn't be interested because he would never love that woman as much as he loves Robin. And Cody says now he knows better. Next, Suki asks Mary how Robin fits into all of this. And Mary is sure that Robin is very sad. And Mary says she doesn't know how it would be being the only one left standing. Mary says if Cody loves Robin so much that he can let go of the three of them, it's on Cody. It's not on Robin. Suki asks Robin if she could find happiness with just Cody at this time. Robin pauses. She's blinking a lot. She isn't sure what to say. So she says, and then she says, it's weird. And then she says, to be loving and respectful to Cody, she wants to say yes, but she just doesn't know how this works exactly. Robin says it's weird. She feels like it's disrespectful. And here she gets dramatic. She's scrunching up her face, doing the whole fake tears things, even though there's not an actual tear on her face. And she says, it feels disrespectful to be happy with Cody. Suki says they want her to be happy. Her sister wives want her to be happy with Cody. Suki explains that they all sat here and they said they wanted Robin to be happy with Cody. Suki explains that Christine shared that, married too, and also Janelle. Robin breaks down some more. She wants to play the victim. And Robin says they haven't shared that with her off camera. They don't owe her a damn thing. And she shouldn't expect it. Robin cries and she says she needs to hear that from them to be able to be purely happy with Cody. Listen, Robin didn't give a fuck about the wives or the other kids' happiness when Cody was absent in their marriages and in their homes and with his kids, neglecting everyone else to give all of his time and attention to Robin. And as long as Robin and her kids were getting everything they wanted, they didn't care or worry about if anyone else's needs, wants, or anything were being met, or what their emotions were, or if they felt neglected by Cody while he was spending all of that time and doting on them and giving them all of that favor and attention. Robin never gave a fuck about the other wives' happiness or the other kids' happiness in the family, but now she wants everyone to take a moment to talk with her privately off camera so that she doesn't have to feel miserable, so that she doesn't have to feel guilt, so that she can feel happy along with Cody. My advice to her would be fuck off. Robin and Cody are miserable for a reason, and Robin's miserable for a reason. She got her monogamy. Cody got free of the obstacles to his goals in life. They're free. The only people who look happy are the women who are free, who get to move forward and find love. And the kids are more stable and settled, seeing that their moms are happier, being independent and being on their own. Cody and Robin are the ones who are miserable. And there's a reason for that. They got their monogamy at what cost? The disintegration of the family, the disintegration of the love, the disintegration of the good relationships, all the negative emotions that come with that disintegration, all of the hard feelings, all of the resentment, all of the hurt and all of the suffering, especially that Cody inflicted on his kids. So Robin doesn't get to sit and say what she needs so that she can feel happy. Fuck her and fuck her happiness. She can fuck all the way off. Now she's making demands through her fake tears. Oh, they never told me. Oh, I needs to be off camera. Now she expects that she can make demands and the women are going to go to her and give her her blessing to be happy. Maybe she feels guilt for a reason. Anyways, Robin demands that she needs it to be off camera to her face because she doesn't know how it feels. And Robin says it's disrespectful to Cody's kids and to the commitment she made. And then Robin grabs a tissue with not a tear on her face, another tissue to be dramatic. Suki tells Robin this is just her being honest, saying this is what she needs from them. She needs them to go to her and talk to her to her face privately and tell her that they want her to be happy. And Robin says yes. She has her commitment to them, to their kids, to them, to the whole family, to Cody. All of her commitment is about this family. And Robin says it's not broken and she doesn't know how to break it. Yeah, she doesn't know how to break it, but she sure knows how to gaslight, invalidate, lie, emotionally abuse, manipulate, use her emotions to manipulate. But no, she doesn't know how to break it. She takes her commitments seriously. She's all about the family. Fuck off. Robin says she doesn't know how to break it. She doesn't know how to be done with it as she wipes away her non-existent tears. She says she doesn't care. We can think whatever we want to think. We can think she's stupid. We can think she doesn't know how to. And Suki interrupts. Suki speaks for Robin. She does a lot of helping Cody and Robin speak and managing them and coddling them. And oh, they're so tender. They're so delicate. Oh. Suki says she doesn't think Robin is stupid. She is talking about having a conversation with her sister wives in order for her to be able to be completely happy with Cody. And Suki understands that Robin needs her sister wives to release she and Cody. And Robin says she feels it's disrespectful to them and she doesn't know how else to say it, how else to explain it. Really, she's all tears, wanting to act all innocent and prim and proper, worrying about disrespecting them, wanting their blessing before she can even be happy. Yet she can't even admit she was the favorite wife. And she can't even admit that the favor that Cody gave her and her kids, the all-consuming investment, meant neglect as a father to his children, and it meant neglect to his other wives as a husband. But here she is crying, wanting the sister wives to kiss her ass and tell her, oh, it's okay for her to be happy. This is such bullshit. Maybe Robin should feel miserable. Maybe she should feel guilt. Maybe she should put herself in the shoes of everyone else in the family. The people she and Cody hurt by refusing to admit that yes, she was the favorite wife. That yes, she mattered more. That yes, all the favor and investment she and her kids received meant that Cody, as a husband and a father, was neglecting everyone else, every other household. That she was completely fine with that. But now, after everything is disintegrated and the relationships are done, she wants her sister wives to go back and have a conversation with her face to face and give her her blessing so that she can be happy with Cody, so she doesn't feel like she's being disrespectful, because she's oh so respectful of everyone and she values this family oh so much. Fuck off with the bullshit. Next, Suki asks Christine if there's anything that David does better than Cody. Christine laughs. I mean, obviously, David and Cody are like night and day. She says, yeah, David will ask her what's wrong, and she'll tell him nothing, everything's fine. David will say no, and he will sit down and he will wait until Christine talks. Christine mentions that David is really aware and he's really observant, and it's insane. Now we meet the man. We meet David, and I have to say, I like him a lot. I think he's adorable. And, you know, I can be cynical. I can be skeptical. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I like this guy a lot. Not that it matters what I think. Who gives a fuck what I think? But I like him a lot. Now, I think he's adorable. Christine says that David's amazing. He's the love of her life. They look so fucking cute together. I mean, I was like, oh, it was so cute. We learn a little about David. David was married for over 20 years to a woman, and he has 8 kids. He has 10 grandkids. David's wife passed over 11 years ago, and he started dating. He had fun for a while, and then he stopped dating. And then David says Christine came and stalked him. David knew, of course, who Christine was before they began dating. Christine didn't know that David knew who she was until their second date. David told his daughter about Christine, and his daughter assumed right away that he was being catfished. David says that he and Christine, they went on a date, and he wondered how he would get Christine to go out with him again. And Christine says, well, David's birthday was only a few weeks away after their first date, and she wanted to take David out for his birthday, but David usually takes his whole family out. He buys the whole family dinner on his birthday. So David took Christine on a second date, and then he asked her if she likes plays. He took her out to go to a play. They watched the play, and he watched Christine become so animated during this play, by this play, The Little Mermaid. And David saw that Christine was just very passionate about life, so it clicked when he took her to watch this play. They saw The Little Mermaid. He saw how animated Christine was, how full of life. Christine was crying during the play. She was emotional. She was very into it. She was listening to Ariel belt out Part of Your World. David knew that Christine was somebody who loved life, and he loved that about her. So Suki asks about the physical attraction. David was attracted to Christine, and he's attracted to her type. He loved her energy. He loved the bubbliness. He loved everything about her. He loved the quirkiness too. And David says the quirkiness, that's the top for him. David loves everything Christine does, and he felt, this person I really like. So David dated, and he says when he met Christine, it was instant. He knew she was the one to be with. And then they got to know each other more and more, and they would talk for hours and hours. And it was like, wow, they really connected, and they connected in a lot of ways. Next, Suki asks what was different about Christine than the other women that David dated prior. And David says there was no drama with Christine. Christine explains she thought she lived drama, but her personal life isn't too dramatic. And David says he could just be himself with Christine. She wouldn't tell him what he had to do or what he couldn't do. And David is bald, and he's very confident with it. He jokes that he was blonde once when Suki asks if David is into blondes, because he is bald, totally bald, but he is adorable. David has no problem rocking his lack of hair, his baldness. David is confident in himself, and it shows. And he seems like a great guy. He has a great personality. He has good eyes. I honestly like the guy a lot for Christine so far. I like David. I think Christine and David seem very compatible on a lot of different levels, and they seemed really attuned to each other. I really so far didn't feel any red flags. I think David seems like a humble guy. He's also very comfortable with himself. He's confident. He's comfortable in his skin. He knows who he is. He seems very emotionally mature. He seems very intelligent. He seems very aware. He seems very communicative and very attuned to what Christine needs. Look at how comfortable David is in his skin. Look how comfortable he is with his baldness. And you can tell that David can be himself and Christine can be herself, and that they complement each other, and that they see each other, and that they matter so much to each other, and that they love each other, and they make each other happy. I like David. He's a good egg so far, and I think he's worthy of Christine. Suki asks David if he was intimidated by the person Christine is or by the platform that she has. And David says no, because he knows eventually there is an end to all of this down the road. And that's the person he wants to grow old with. I fucking love David. Seriously. They play a flashback for David about Christine, where she was panicking about dating since she hadn't dated in so long. And Cody was her first kiss, we learn. And we know things have changed since the last time Christine went on a date all those years ago. Now, in the flashback scene, Christine talks about how scared she is and how excited she is at the same time. She's excited about dating and she wants to date, but she's terrified and she knows she has to be vulnerable. She wants to date, but it's a lot. And she knows one thing for sure, she wants monogamy. She is done with polygamy. Christine says in this flashback scene, as far as body in the man she wants a bald guy with tattoos who drives a motorcycle. That's the vision she has, and tattoos to Christine would be fantastic. She jokes in this scene that it's pretty much Cody's opposite she's looking for, and it's not on purpose, but maybe, she says. She says she's looking for something that Cody never was, because she wants someone who is a partner and a good communicator and someone who is funny. She would love someone with a sense of humor. Christine explains that she was married to somebody who wasn't physically attracted to her. And the biggest reason she hasn't dated is because it's a self-esteem thing. And that's been very hard to get over. Christine says the biggest reason she left Cody was she didn't want to be in a marriage where her kids would know that she was married to someone who wasn't attracted to her. It's been really hard to get over, and Christine says it's hard for her to get beyond it in her head. So she's been really scared with dating. Christine says Cody is the only guy she has ever kissed, and she worries, well, what if she sucks at kissing or everything like that? And she knows that Cody didn't like it. And she asks, do you see why it's scary? Do you see why it's terrifying? Christine says it is terrifying because she feels like the only experience she had in a romantic way was negative and her husband didn't like it. He wasn't very affectionate with her. So Christine naturally probably thought that there was something wrong with her. When she's gorgeous, there's absolutely nothing wrong with her, and there's a lot wrong with Cody. Christine is laughing at herself during this flashback scene, and Suki mentions that Christine said she wants a bald guy with tattoos riding a motorcycle, and Suki looks at David and Suki says it's almost like Christine manifested David. He has tattoos, and Christine and David even now have matching tattoos over their hearts. They have a Celtic tattoo that means new beginnings right over each of their hearts. They got these tattoos together. At least I'm going to say this, they didn't get each other's name. David used to have a motorcycle, and that floored Christine. And Suki really feels like Christine manifested David because what she describes in that scene, that is who is sitting next to her right now. Even David thinks that it's weird and uncanny. Now, what Christine described as her dream guy basically is David. So, I mean, it is something that does make the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little. Like, wow, it does feel like she manifested him. But sometimes when you're in the right place at the right time and your karma's just right and your energy's just right and you really deserve it, the universe aligns and you get what you wish for and everything turns out just beautifully like a fairy tale. Sometimes it does happen. Christine deserves it. Christine explains that her kids need to know that she knew that they knew that she was married to someone who wasn't attracted to her. She knew, and they told her that they knew that Cody wasn't attracted to her. So she brought it up again in that scene because you always want to be an example for your kids. And she says, if things aren't working out, if you're with someone who isn't attracted to you, then you need to change and you need to do something different. It's not going to work out. And she wants her kids to know that. Cody knows that Christine is dating. Cody was very excited for Christine. He says she's happy, she's on her path now, but that flashback scene bothers him because Cody says she is right there asking for his kids to side with her against him. And Cody says if nobody else sees it, maybe he is just delusional. My thoughts exactly. Cody has hit the nail on the head with this one. He is delusional. Christine already moved a long time ago. She left Cody, and those were her adult kids and their spouses who she was talking to. She just talked about how she was dating and some of her insecurities with dating. It wasn't asking her kids to side with her against Cody or anything like that at all. Cody is being paranoid, Cody is being delusional, and Cody is making shit up. Cody said out of his own mouth that he wasn't attracted to Christine anymore. His kids knew it. It's obvious to anyone with eyes and ears that Cody really just wasn't into Christine, even though she's gorgeous. And Cody had absolutely nothing to do with their topic of conversation, which was the dating. They weren't even talking about him. Cody is paranoid, and Cody makes up narratives in his mind, and he believes them wholeheartedly. He believes his lies. Christine is explaining that she is insecure about dating and why. All she ever knew was Cody, a man who wasn't attracted to her even though she is gorgeous. So she is scared and she doubts herself, and she tells her kids that she is dating and why she's scared of it and why she's insecure. Nothing was about Cody or anything against Cody or having her kids pick sides against him or talk bad about him. It was nothing like that. Cody tries to make himself the focus of everything because he's selfish, even when he really isn't. Cody says he has a problem once again with Christine setting her kids against him, pitting her kids against him to gain favor with her. And that's what he sees happening there in that clip. I don't see that. I think Cody is paranoid. I think Cody is delusional. And for him, everything is in absolutes. Everything is in black and white. There is no middle ground. There is no gray. It's all one way or all another way, all good or all bad. Now, Cody says McKelty, in order to have favor with Christine in this scene, is siding against him in this story, joining Christine in the criticism of him just because he didn't love her. Now, Cody says he was attached to Christine, and in the eyes of his kids, he was there and he was with Christine. And according to Cody's version, Cody says Christine is the one who told the kids that he wasn't. Cody says what Christine did was wrong, and he is happy for her and her life, and he is happy that she is moving forward and that she is going to find love. He is happy for that, but he cannot forgive, not right now, the fact that Christine has pit his children against him in a very subtle but real way, and Cody says that bothers him. Cody says now, if Christine is really in love, which he hopes is the real story, that she should end all of her trash talking about him to his children and her trash talking him on the show. All of that should end now, because if she is in love, if she has love, then she should be over it. So he shouldn't hear another word trash talking the family or trash talking him on the show or trash talking him to his children. That should all stop because Christine is in love now, so she should be over it. Suki thinks that Christine is in love, and Cody says he hopes so. Listen, Cody doesn't get to make his own conditions to determine if Christine is validly in love or not and say if this and then this. He doesn't get to control Christine or set any conditions for her. He doesn't get to determine if Christine is validly in love or not and then use the conditions he creates in his own mind as a way to disparage Christine's love or her relationship. Cody is disgusting and ugly and full of resentment. He's toxic. He is underestimating his kids' independence and their autonomy and their own ability to think independently and feel for themselves. And he is treating his kids as if they are weak and as if they are easily manipulated and influenced, when realistically the kids are all adults who see and think and feel and experience and remember enough all for themselves to form their own opinions and have their own feelings about things without having to be influenced by anything. Cody trying to make Christine out to be this master manipulator who influences the kids is really Cody being paranoid and deflecting in order to try to make himself feel better by disparaging Christine. He wants to blame the bad relationships with his adult kids on Christine, saying Christine is the one influencing the kids, as if his adult kids can't think for themselves. Also, it seems Cody feels either you think he is an absolute hero, giving him what would be equivalent to a verbal blowjob and praise all the time, constantly, or if you don't treat him like he's the absolute number one best in the world in everything, if you don't treat him like he is perfect and completely beyond reproach, then you are against him. You're an enemy. You're at the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And Cody can't fathom that his kids might have issues with him because of how he treats them. So instead of facing his own accountability, he deflects, blaming Christine influencing them. And that is why the kids don't like Cody and have bad relationships with him. Because Cody assumes that they're weak-minded, that they can't think for themselves, that they're under Christine's influence. That blame on Christine, that assumption that it's Christine's fault, completely invalidates all of the issues and all of the emotions that they feel towards their dad that he needs to validate and address with them. It completely invalidates how his kids feel towards him and what their issues are with him by just blaming Christine. And it makes the kids think that Cody doesn't feel like the way that they feel about him and their issues with him are valid. Like he's completely just dismissing everything and pawning it off on blaming Christine. And then they probably feel worse about their relationships with their dad. Cody doesn't seem to understand that the way he underestimates his kids, the way he assumes they're weak-minded and under Christine's influence, that they can't think for themselves. Cody doesn't seem to estimate the years of neglect, the years of emotional abuse, and all of his toxic behavior. Those things all have a lot to do with why his kids stay away from him. But Cody doesn't like to think about that. He'd rather blame Christine. And Cody's behavior is why Cody has shit relationships with his kids. It has nothing to do with Christine. And Cody completely underestimates his kids' ability to think for themselves. And that will only make his kids resent Cody more for not taking accountability and also for blaming Christine, a woman they all love and respect very highly. Christine doesn't need to shit talk Cody. That's just Cody's paranoia talking. Cody's behavior speaks for itself, and Cody's kids can think for themselves. Cody is the one who can't cope with the fact that his toxic behavior led to his bad relationships with his kids. So he has to spin this narrative that his kids are brainwashed against him and that Christine is this super influential woman, this siren who has magical powers, who does mind control and Jedi tricks on the kids to turn them against their dad. Cody is so jealous of Christine. He feels so threatened by Christine that she just lives in his mind all day, rent-free, 24/7. This larger-than-life, all-powerful goddess. Cody needs to take accountability for his actions, and if he spent all the time he does on his delusions and paranoia and on all of his fairy tale narratives, if he spent that time on taking actual accountability, all of his relationships with his kids would probably be going good. Also, Cody gives Mykelti as an example. Mykelti tries to stay neutral and she tries to stay friends with everyone in the family. Mykelti can love her dad and try to see the good in him while also understanding his faults and validating her mom and what her mom experienced as well. And she can do that without being influenced by her mom. Mykelti can agree that it was fucked up for her dad to make her mom feel so unattractive and unloved without being against her dad on the opposite side of the spectrum. Not everything is in absolutes. Not everything is black and white, but Cody sees everything and everyone that way. Cody can't understand that maybe Mykelti might love her dad and be on both her dad's side and her mom's side while also being able to be critical of him. Loving someone and being on their side doesn't mean you aren't critical. It's okay to be critical. It's okay to acknowledge a person's faults or a person's weaknesses or a person's mistakes. That doesn't mean that you don't love and support them. That doesn't mean you are against them. That doesn't mean that you're the enemy or that you've been influenced against this person or pit against this person. Cody sees everything in absolutes. Black or white, this way or that, all the way. And Cody is so paranoid and so delusional, and his ego is so fragile and delicate. He is so weak and insecure that he cannot comprehend that someone could love him and also be critical of him at times. If you love him, to Cody, that means he has to absolutely be the faultless hero, perfection all the time. If you think anything else, if you say anything else, just the tiniest diversion from that perfection, and Cody seems to assume that you're against him, that you're his enemy, that you're influenced by the enemy. He can't have normal relationships because Cody is so insecure and his ego is so fragile that he can't accept anything but a fantasy that's regurgitated back to him, that he is this perfect, faultless hero. And because Mykelti had criticism in that moment, rather than Cody accepting that as truth and accepting his accountability and admitting he is human, he has weakness, he has frailties, it became that Christine is turning Mykelti against me. And Mykelti didn't mean that criticism of me, that I didn't love her mom or that I wasn't attracted to her mom. Cody is making it seem like, oh, well, Mykelti was just saying that to please her mom, to win her over. She didn't really mean it. And because Cody is so weak and so fragile, he refuses to admit his faults or that his children might actually see his faults. Mykelti wasn't agreeing with her mom just to appease her mom and make her mom feel like she agreed with her and was supporting her. Mykelti was telling her truth. She still loves her dad. She loves the positive things about her dad, but that's a fault about her dad, and she acknowledged it with her mom. And she didn't acknowledge it because she wanted to please Christine or be on Christine's side or because Christine was influencing her. She acknowledged it because it was the truth. And you can criticize your dad and notice his mistakes and love him all at the same time. Kody may not have the capacity for loving someone and being critical of them at the same time, but every other person on the planet does. Kody might think in absolutes. Kody might think in black and white. Not everyone does. Kody keeps saying, well, if Christine is really in love, then he won't believe it unless Christine acts the way he wants her to act. That she needs to stop criticizing him. She needs to stop criticizing Robin. She needs to stop being mean. She needs to stop talking trash. She needs to stop telling her truth about him and her experience and about Robin. She needs to stop using her voice. If she's really in love, then she'll stop. If she mentions anything negative about Robin, about him, about her experience, he wants to then interpret that as, oh, Christine isn't really in love. She isn't really over me, as a way to be cruel and as a way to discount Christine, as a way to disparage her new relationship, as a way to try and control Christine and control her voice, even though he isn't married to her. And every time she speaks on Kody or Robin now, or her experience with the family, Kody will use that now as an opportunity to deflect and say, well, she doesn't really love David if she hasn't really moved on. She's mentioning this about me, or she's mentioning this about Robin, or she's being mean. And he's going to say, well, that means Christine isn't actually in love. And just because Christine is in love, it doesn't mean she can't discuss the negative things she experienced with Kody or with Robin. Kody wants to try and control the situation and dictate the parameters of the situation. And he wants to try to shut down Christine. No one should give a fuck what Kody thinks. Christine's love for David has nothing to do with if Christine has negative things to say about Kody or Robin or anything she experienced in the family. She has every right to tell her truth and speak on what she experienced. And just because she is saying something that Kody perceives as mean or negative or hateful or whatever bullshit he wants to spin it as, it doesn't mean that she doesn't truly love David or that she isn't truly over it. She has a right to use her voice. Kody has no right to use defining her love or her relationship or, oh, she must not really be in love if she's still mentioning this or that or this as a way to control her or adapt her behavior. Fuck Kody, fuck his manipulations, fuck his toxic way of thinking altogether. Fuck all the way off. He has no right to dictate that or dictate anything of, well, if Christine still says this and this, well, she must not love him. What the fuck does he know? Nothing. He lost 3 wives. He's stuck with the one who is the least loyal, who is just managing the fuck out of him, who doesn't even actually love him, who is just using him. And he's sitting there holding her up like a prize saying, oh, look how loyal she is. Look how great this one is that I'm stuck left with. And you know what? They both look miserable. He has no idea what the fuck a relationship entails. He lost 3 wives and he's stuck with the one, the least loyal one, holding her up saying, oh, look how loyal this one is when she's not loyal at all. She's managing the fuck out of him. And he wants to sit and act like he knows everything about everything. He can fuck all the way off. Kody is wrong in suggesting, well, if she really loves David, then she would be over it. She won't say anything mean about me, or she won't say anything mean about Robin, or she won't say anything mean about my kids or anything mean on the show. He's wrong about that. Listen, her love for David has nothing to do with it. Her being in love with David has no bearing on how she feels about the trauma she experienced or her being over her trauma. This woman went through trauma for years in this situation. And if she wants to discuss her experience and it's negative towards Kody or Robin or anyone in the family, Christine has every right to express herself. And it doesn't mean that she doesn't love David or that she hasn't moved on. And maybe Christine's love with David gives her even more confidence to speak up and use her voice and express herself. And she should. Kody has no right to define whether or not Christine is really in love with David based on if she still talks about what she experienced or not in her marriage to Kody. Kody has no right to define well, if she's really in love with David, if she's really genuinely over it, then she'll say this, but she won't say this, and she'll do this, but she won't say this, or she'll stop doing this. Cody has no right. She says when she's done discussing her trauma or what she experienced. Cody has no right. The two things aren't correlated. Cody just wants to feel like he is in control when really he is grasping at straws and he is desperate and he feels threatened. Christine did nothing wrong and she did not influence her kids or their perceptions of their dad. She has done nothing to put her children against him in any way. Cody is delusional and Cody is a paranoid man baby. If Cody's in love with Robin now that he is free from the obstacles to his goals in life, him trash talking Christine and then the rest of his ex-wives still, maybe that should end if he really loves Robin since he's free of them. Cody trash talking Christine and the ex-wives, that should end if he really, really loves Robin. That's what I think, if that's the standards Cody goes by. Now, Suki tells Christine that she said Cody didn't like kissing her. Christine says she was scared to be kissed. She was scared. She thought she was a bad kisser because Cody didn't like to kiss her. But David says Christine is a great kisser. She's awesome. He loves everything about her. Everything. And Christine says she knew Cody didn't like kissing her because for things like her birthday, she would say she wanted to go off somewhere with Cody and make out with him. And Cody would say, no, let's not do that. He would never just kiss her for fun. And Christine explains for her, kissing doesn't have to lead to something. You don't have to have sex just because you're making out. And Christine says she and Cody never made out. They never kissed. She always wanted to, but Cody never wanted to. Christine explains that it's nice to feel confident in a relationship where she can just be herself. Cody believes that Christine is Machiavellian. And Cody says maybe Christine won't do it to David. He says he is just the bad guy now. So the experience he had was Machiavellian. Poor Cody, the victim. Cody says if Christine is not Machiavellian with David, then she is in love unless she is Machiavellian to get her way with her husband, which Cody says will be a normal thing in any marriage. And Cody says in years to come, if they all become friends, Cody thinks that David might one day pull him aside and go, dude, this is nuts, because he would be complaining about his wife, Christine, to Cody. This is how delusional Cody is. And Cody says he will say to him, dude, be loyal to your wife. Don't talk to me about it. Because Cody says guys normally like to complain about their wives to each other. So Cody thinks he and David are going to do that together. David probably wants nothing to do with a loser, a coward like Cody. Real men don't like associating with cowards. It's cute how Cody considers himself a normal guy. Cody thinks he knows what normal guys do. I seriously wonder if Cody genuinely considers himself a guy's guy, a normal guy. Listen, most men, most real men wouldn't want a thing to do with a coward. A coward who treats his family like shit, who can't even be just a good enough, decent human being, let alone a man, to go to his daughter's major surgery. Most real men find out another guy treats one of their children that way, treats their wife that way. They're not going to want anything to do with them. Now, Cody is delusional. He keeps wanting to make it seem like Christine isn't a good catch and like David has his hands full, like he doesn't know what he's doing. Do you guys remember last episode when Cody said the wives talk shit to make him feel small so they feel better about how badly they treat him? Now, we all know the wives don't do that. Cody does that, and Cody was projecting. Cody is projecting that onto them. He projects onto them exactly what he is doing to them. He's projecting onto his ex-wives exactly what he does to them. He's doing that to Christine here. He is disparaging Christine and suggesting maybe she doesn't really love David. Maybe she still isn't over the family situation yet. Maybe she's not over it. Suggesting maybe David doesn't know what he's getting himself into. Cody, in his delusion, is suggesting that David is going to one day be his friend and David's going to go to him and complain about Christine. They're going to be men together. And Cody is going to go complain about Robin to him. And David's going to go to him and complain that, oh, Christine is nuts. Cody is totally delusional. He has zero grasp on reality. First of all, Cody says men like to complain about their wives to other men. Cody wouldn't know. He isn't a real man, and we've seen how Cody acts with his guy friends. He cowers to them. He proclaims he's an alpha male, a man's man, but he never really quite fits in. Yet, he's here thinking he is the one that they all want to be like all men wish they could be his friend. All men wish they could be like him, when no one would want anything to do with him when they see the way he treats his wives and kids. If anything, with all of the scenes of Cody and his friends, it looks like Cody is trying too hard and everyone just kind of pities him kind of for being so dense. Like they tolerate him and he's really into them. Cody is delusional, and I love how Cody suggests that David will go to him one day and bitch about Christine down the line. And he's like going to be this upstanding guy. And he's going to tell him, don't talk to me. Be loyal to Christine. Be loyal to your wife. As if he is going to protect Christine and her honor. When all Cody ever did in the past was be disloyal to Christine and treat this woman like she was never good enough for him when she was always too good for him. What an idiot Cody is. How delusional is Cody? Suki breaks the news that David won't be going to him. And Suki says it's like Cody wouldn't pull over the other wives to trash talk about Robin. And Suki asks if it's a tenet that they have in their marriages, that they're not supposed to do that, obviously. And Cody says he did have a situation where an ex-wife and a wife were talking shit about him. They were trash talking him. Sure, yeah, the whole world just trash talks him. Suki points out that there are lessons learned, and Cody says humans are fallible. They all make huge mistakes, and in a marriage, you forgive those mistakes because everybody makes them, or you don't have a marriage. Right, Cody's not to blame, guys. Cody's just a normal human. He's human. It's the human condition. He just makes mistakes like any other guy out there. Like all other normal people, he just makes mistakes. Most other men have higher standards and higher morals and higher consciousness than Cody does, though. Cody isn't like most other guys. Cody won't take any accountability at all. He will just say, oh, all people make mistakes, as a blanket way of getting out of his own accountability. It's not my fault I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. All humans make mistakes. That's a way for him not to take any accountability, and it's bullshit. He won't take any accountability. All he's going to do is say a blanket statement, well, all people make mistakes. David says Cody is wrong. He is definitely wrong about Christine being backstabbing and Christine being Machiavellian. David says Christine isn't that at all. He doesn't see that. And David notes he's a people person. David says he can read people. And he says Christine isn't that way at all. She's really good. David says sometimes she can be clueless about what's going on. But as far as Christine being conniving, no. David says his focus is on Christine, not on what they had there before. Suki wants to know what David's impression of Cody is. And David says Cody wears his emotions on his sleeve a lot, and sometimes you shouldn't. But David says that's Cody. That's who Cody is, so he can't say any different. But he wouldn't be like that. If David were in this situation, he wouldn't be like that. David says Cody wants you to hear him. Yeah, Cody wants everyone to hear him. Cody wants everyone to only see his emotions, and everything about him comes first. His emotions come first. He's a priority. But Cody doesn't give a fuck about anyone else's emotions. Cody doesn't give a fuck about listening to anyone else's voice. He just wants to be heard. I love David so far. He's a real man, And one thing I noticed is he is very diplomatic. He's very classy about the way he addresses things. He's measured. He has control over his emotions. He's emotionally intelligent. He's very self-aware. He's sensitive. He communicates well. And he has a lot of control over his own emotions. He has a lot of control over himself. And he seems to think very clearly, and he seems to have a very healthy mindset. I like David a lot so far. He really is the opposite of Cody, and he really is a real man. I like him. I like him with Christine, and I can see why Christine feels loved. I can see why she feels confident with David, and I can see why she feels confident in their relationship. I think David is here with the right intentions. I really do so far. David really is so cute, and I love the way he and Christine look at each other. You can tell that they have a very deep connection and that they are very attuned to each other and that they both really love each other. Next is one of the most delusional statements I have seen Cody make maybe ever. Cody says, for David Woolley's sake, Christine has to destroy his character or David doesn't feel like he can marry her because Christine left a good man. That is Cody's delusional assessment. Cody is very threatened by David. Cody is very insecure, and Cody is very jealous of David, a real man, something Cody will never be. Cody says he isn't a bad guy. He and Christine just weren't in a good marriage. Suki explains to Cody that she met David and she doesn't think David feels that way at all about it. Suki says that David feels that marriage just probably didn't work out, that they divorced, and now he is meeting Christine where she is right now. He doesn't care about her past marriage to him or what their relationship was like. Now, just because the marriage didn't work out, it doesn't mean that the other person who got left is a bad person. Cody knows he is the bad guy in this, and I think he feels that. He knows he mistreated Christine, and he feels it. And I think he fears that Christine told David the truth about the way their marriage was and the way Cody treated her and how it affected her. And Cody knows, David knows, he wasn't a good husband to Christine. And Cody knows himself he wasn't a good guy to Christine and he didn't treat her well. And now, to make himself feel better about the bad way he treated Christine and to save face in Cody's sick mind, he wants to make it seem like David is this dumbass who Christine is taking advantage of and lying to. And he wants to suggest that Christine had to disparage him as being a bad guy just so David would even feel comfortable marrying her. Because in Cody's warped mind, if he is a good guy and things between he and Christine just happen to not work out, then no man would feel safe marrying her if she left a good guy, and then she would be deemed untrustworthy and no one would marry her. That's not true. Listen, Cody is fucked in the head if that's his way of thinking. People grow apart in marriages and relationships all the time, and sometimes both partners invest equally and they try, and sometimes there isn't a bad guy and it just doesn't work out. People just grow up, they grow apart, and no one does anyone wrong. People just grow apart and they decide to divorce, and it's amicable, and then they remarry. And most people who remarry don't feel like they have to make their last husband or wife or relationship or partner seem bad so the other person would be willing to commit. No one thinks that way but Cody, because Cody doesn't think like a normal human being. In his mind, it's not possible that two people can be good people and just not work out in a marriage or relationship. And Cody assumes for someone to be willing to marry a divorcee, the ex-partner then has to be made bad or has to be bad. Otherwise, that new person would get scared off thinking the previous married person is the lemon and the problem. But only Cody thinks that way in his pea brain. Cody has a very paranoid, sick mind, and his way of thinking is very twisted. Cody wants to make excuses, trying to make it seem like Christine is telling all of these horror stories about him being a bad guy or him mistreating her or him being bad as a father or bad as a husband, that everything we hear about him that's negative is just Christine disparaging him and villainizing him just so another man would be willing to marry her because she's a divorcee and she's damaged goods. That's disgusting, and no one thinks like that except maybe some of the sick folk that go to his church. I don't really know. Cody wants to make it seem like David doesn't know what he's doing, or like Christine and David, like they don't have a real love. And Cody wants to make it seem like David has no idea, like he is marrying a lemon, a bad apple, and he has no idea. Listen, Cody is the bad apple. Christine isn't damaged goods. The damaged one is Cody. Cody is the bad seed. And the way Cody thinks is illogical. The way Cody thinks is irrational. And Cody wants to make excuses for all of his bad behavior, for all of the bad things David hears about him. Cody wants to make excuses and say, well, Christine had to say that. Christine had to vilify me and make me the bad guy just so that someone would be willing to marry her, just to get David to be willing to marry her, as if Christine is damaged goods. David is very lucky that Christine is willing to marry him, and Christine is also very lucky too. Christine is not damaged goods. Only Cody and people who are 80 years old and up may have that antiquated way of thinking. I don't know anybody who thinks that way, to be honest. Maybe we should ask why Cody lost 3 of his wives and wasn't able to maintain healthy relationships with them. Maybe he's the problem. Maybe it's not just everybody going out of their way to trash talk him and make him the bad guy and villainize him. Maybe he actually is the bad guy. Maybe he actually is a problem. Maybe he actually has a toxic mind. Did he ever consider that maybe he's the problem? You know, Cody was very cruel to Christine in their marriage, and now he still wants to be cruel to Christine even after they are parted. And it's disgusting and it's disrespectful. She is still the mother of his kids. Cody has no self-esteem. He's very selfish. He's very insecure. He's a weak little man. And on top of that, he's delusional and he's paranoid. And he still has no clue that he is the problem. In his sick mind, he's a good man. And Christine was difficult. And Christine was unlovable. And Christine was cruel. And Christine is the one who is villainizing him just so someone will be willing to marry her. Because that's the only way Cody can live with the bad way he treated her, by making himself feel better, by making Christine feel small. Christine is too good for Cody, and all I have to say is I'm glad Christine found a real man, something Cody will never, ever be. Cody is so busy shouting from the rooftops about how good a man he is, how everyone vilifies him. But if Cody really were a good man, if he were faultless, he wouldn't need to say it on repeat what a good man he is, how everyone is just banding together against him, colluding against him, just to make him out to be the bad guy. He wouldn't need to say all these words. He wouldn't need to deflect and blame and twist and discount David's assessment of Christine or of their love to try and highlight how good he is. People who are good don't need to say it. It shows. Cody has to use a lot of words and do a lot of talking. But words are hot air. They are empty. There is no substance to Cody being good, or he would not need to work so hard or declare it so much. It looks like Cody wishes he could be a man of the caliber David is, and I don't think he ever can. I think Cody is jealous. I think Cody feels threatened by David and Christine because now another man, a real man, knows exactly what a big, toxic, SOB, dick face Cody is. A real man can see what a coward Cody is, what a ballless failure, what a man baby Cody is, playing dress up in a cheap suit with zero confidence in himself. All hot air and empty words. Cody says he vetted Robin differently than that. He vetted Robin differently than David vetted Christine. He vetted Robin hard because he had to. Cody says he vetted Robin hard because he had to know that Robin didn't leave a good man. Again, you can have a marriage where 2 people just drift apart and no one is the good guy or the bad guy, and the couple just amicably splits and the marriage just doesn't work out. So Cody would not trust Robin as a woman worthy of marriage to him unless her past marriage was bad and the guy was bad. Because if the guy was what Cody would deem a good guy, then automatically Robin becomes the problem, the woman. It couldn't possibly be that maybe both people in the marriage were good people. They were just maybe incompatible over time. In that case, Cody would think it would be too big of a risk to marry her. Cody's disgusting in the way he thinks. He's twisted, he's mental, and it sounds like Cody cares more about David than David cares about Cody. I don't think David pays Cody much mind. Cody explains that he had to know Robin didn't leave a good man before he was going to marry her and take a chance with that. And Suki tells Cody maybe he is still a good man even though Christine left and their marriage didn't work out. And Cody tells Suki then Christine needs to stop telling his kids he's not a good man then. Cody says he isn't going to let it go ever until those kids come to him. What about maybe Cody should go to his kids? Maybe the ball is in his court. Maybe it's his responsibility. Cody's relationship with his kids is his responsibility. And Christine has nothing to do with the bad relationships between Cody and his kids. The kids don't have an issue with Cody because Christine left him or because of anything Christine said. They have an issue with Cody showing preferential treatment to Robin over their mom and also to Robin's kids over them also as his children. Cody neglected their mom and then Cody neglected them to spend all of his time with Robin and her kids. Then he badmouthed and blamed Christine, a very respected member of the family, a mom to all the kids, the family's heart, the nurturer of the family. He blamed her for his bad relationships with his kids. He blamed her for influencing them against him as if they can't think for themselves. And he refused to take his own accountability for being absent as a father with his kids. He refused to make an effort. He refused to take full responsibility for his relationships with his kids as their father. This isn't on Christine. And the more Cody blames Christine for influencing them, the less the kids will want to do with him. And they will resent him for blaming their mom, who they love and respect, rather than for him taking the accountability on himself and owning it. They will resent him for underestimating them, their ability to think, and the validity of their thoughts and feelings and memories regarding him, or the ability that they have to think for themselves. They're just going to resent Cody more. If Cody wants his kids to be around him and want to be around him, the first thing he has to do is keep Christine's name out of his mouth. And he has to take full accountability for his bad relationships with his kids. And he has to be the one to make the efforts to make progress. He has to go to his kids. His kids aren't going to come to him. I am sick and tired of Cody deflecting and placing blame anywhere but on his shoulders, especially for the bad relationships with his kids. It's really immature, very immature. Cody says he doesn't know David, but he hopes Christine is choosing well. And he is hoping she chose very well, and he hopes Christine is very happy. Cody says he isn't judging David, but his life has been public for years. You know what? The wives' lives also have been public for years. Also, Cody's kids' lives have been public for years. And the kids and the ex-wives had to go through heartbreak over Cody publicly for years and the way he neglected and emotionally abused them. Mary had to know her marriage was over and get raked over the coals for staying in this marriage or looking like she was staying in this marriage when privately Cody told her it was over, but he didn't want it made public because he didn't want the negative criticism falling on him. Instead, Cody preferred Mary take the brunt of it. So Cody isn't a victim here because he had to deal with all of this publicly. So have his other wives and so have his kids. But selfishly, Cody only cares about himself and his optics. It's all about appearances. It's all about what he looks like. It's all about how he comes across. He doesn't care about his other wives or his kids or what they have endured publicly or the judgment they get because he has to be the father and the husband of the family in this plural situation. Cody gets so much judgment and public opinion on him because of his toxic, abusive, bad behavior, because of his neglect, because of his disingenuousness, because of his selfishness, because how focused on optics he is, because of his focus on his ego, because of his refusal to take accountability. If Cody acted right, he wouldn't have such a tough time in the public view. Suki asks David if David has empathy for Cody as a man who has had to manage this family. David can have empathy to a certain point because it can get overwhelming with a lot of people in the family. But David says with him, when he was dating women, his kids always came first. And if anyone he was dating pushed him, telling him that he had to be here or there, David would say, no, that ain't gonna work. There is room for everybody. David always prioritized his kids, unlike Cody. Suki asks David what he thinks didn't happen in the relationship between Christine and Cody. And she asks David why he thinks it came to a head, why it ended. And David says he doesn't know because he doesn't know that part, but he knows Christine. And David knows Christine is a complete package. And David says everything he ever wanted in a woman is there in Christine. The intimacy, the touching, the communication, the talking. David doesn't know if Christine had that with Cody. So David has it all with Christine. But David says when you don't have it all, if you don't have it, he was in a marriage where there wasn't much talking. There wasn't that part. But with Christine, everything is there. It's natural. And if you don't have that in a marriage and you just have the ring, it doesn't mean anything. And David says the title doesn't mean anything. It's all the rest of it. And they are awesome together. Christine says the proposal with David was amazing. And she says some women say that they knew when it was coming, the proposal. They usually say they know. They knew when it was coming when they're telling their proposal story. But Christine didn't know. Christine had no clue what was coming. David went down to Moab with Christine and his friend, and he took her on a ride with his friends. He planned it all. They were out on the side of a cliff with a beautiful view, and David's friend was filming everything. He took their picture, and David told Christine this was his favorite place in the world. He told Christine she was his favorite person, and he wants to spend his life with her. So Christine threw her stuff down, and she said yes. And he said more beautiful words to her. And then he asked Christine to marry him. And Christine said yes. And they kissed and hugged. And David's friend filmed the whole thing. I hope they show that on the wedding special. I want to see it. Christine says David was sneaky. She had no clue. David recounts how when he and Christine were first dating, Christine asked him if he believed in soulmates. Christine thought that she and David were soulmates. So she asked David if he believed in that. And he said yes. His text response back was yes, because they were soulmates, he and Christine. And Christine felt it was intense, and she knew from that moment on that she and David were soulmates. Christine says this wedding is going to be big. Christine is going to be walking down the aisle. With Cody, they just had a very small, intimate, spiritual ceiling. And Christine says it's a world apart from what is happening with David. Christine doesn't care where they get married. She wanted the dress and the aisle, and David standing there at the end of the aisle. They're not going to have a traditional wedding party. It's going to be all of their grandkids in their wedding colors walking down the aisle with them. Their moms will be there too, and her dad might walk her down the aisle if he isn't too sick. If not, her son will walk her down the aisle. But Christine's dad is going to be there. Her two moms are invited. Janelle is invited. But Christine isn't inviting Cody, Robin, or their kids. We learned that Christine did reach out to Robin's kids, but they haven't responded to her. Christine is fine with that. She says it's fine if Robin's kids need to process whatever went on. Janelle and her kids are definitely invited to the wedding. Mary isn't invited to the wedding. Christine felt maybe she should invite Mary, but her gut reaction was just no. Leon is invited to the wedding though. Leon and Audrey are going to the wedding, and they're going to be wearing Christine's wedding colors. and they're going to be in all the wedding photos. Christine is also inviting some of Cody's family. She is inviting Cody's siblings and Cody's mom. Christine explains that she is still super close to them. She has known them for 30 plus years, so some of them are going. They already got their hotels booked and everything in order to be there. Christine says the magical part of having a marriage later on in life is that you don't have to invite anybody. You can invite who you want, and there will be nobody there who will be awkward for herself or for David. They're just going to have everyone who they want there, and they're getting a fairy tale wedding. David would be fine eloping if Christine would be willing. He would be more than fine eloping, but Christine wants her fairy tale wedding. Mary didn't expect to be invited to the wedding, and she's okay with it because she says, a wedding is a special moment that you don't want to have issues at. And Mary says they aren't going to want that type of conflict of emotion in their wedding. And Mary wouldn't want that for Christine either. So Mary is totally okay with not being invited. And she hopes to get married again one day. And she hopes to find somebody who loves and accepts the person that she is, someone who cherishes her and knows her heart and likes it. I really hope Mary finds that. Janelle is going to the wedding for sure, and she isn't going to be the maid of honor because Christine isn't having a traditional wedding party, but she is having a fun dress made just for Christine's wedding. Suki asks Janelle if Janelle feels like she can ever reconcile with Cody, but Janelle doesn't foresee it ever happening. Janelle says no, it would have to be some sort of magical fairy tale where they all transformed into different people, and that doesn't happen in real life. Janelle says she could be friends. She still has such high regard for Cody. She can be his friend, but she's not going to reconcile with him. She can remember the good times, but she doesn't want to reconcile. And we learn Janelle's celebrity crush is Gerard Butler, and Suki suggests Jason Momoa to Janelle. Janelle likes big, hunky men, and Janelle thinks a man bun looks good on Jason Momoa. A man bun looks good never, I say. I like long hair on a guy a lot, but I can't do man buns. No fucking way. Mary's celebrity crush is tall, 6 feet or taller, and Mary says her celebrity crush is Matthew McConaughey. And what's interesting is Suki asks Cody about his celebrity crush. His celebrity crush is Sophia Loren, and he says he loved the musical Man of La Mancha. He saw it when he was 6, and Cody claims he knew he was straight when he was 6 years old. No one asked Cody about his sexuality at all, and I thought it was very weird for him to mention it. And it makes me wonder if Cody was very insecure surrounding his sexuality because his old high school friends used to think that he was gay. I thought it was a weird thing for Cody to interject. Cody says Robin knows his celebrity crush is Sophia Loren. And Cody knows who his brother husband would be. Cody says he's asking for Robin's forgiveness. And then he reveals that Robin likes Ryan Reynolds. And Cody says that's why he has 6-pack abs, because he has to compete with Ryan Reynolds. What's funny is Cody knew Mary's celebrity crush, like right off the top of his head. Suki asks Cody, and Cody knows it's Matthew McConaughey. And Cody doesn't know Christine's celebrity crush. Cody says Gerard Butler is definitely Janelle's style. And Cody says he had to get 6-pack abs to compete with him. Suki tells Cody that Janelle also likes Jason Momoa. Suki jokes that Janelle didn't say she would toss Jason Momoa out of her bed. And Cody gets really uncomfortable and he cringes at this. Now, Christine feels like for the past 13 years, she has been real and honest. She has shown everybody the hardest days of her life and the hardest times of her life. And now she gets to share the best day of her life with everybody. She gets to bring everybody to the best day of her life. Christine says it will be a huge party. It'll be a fairy tale dream come true. It'll be beautiful and gorgeous, and we will want to be there and stay there all day long. Christine says her wedding, it'll be amazing. Amen. From Christine's lips to God's ears, as the saying goes. I really hope Christine's wedding goes off perfectly. I'm sure she's going to look beautiful. I have never been more excited to watch a wedding in my life. Now, Christine is very excited to marry David. David is excited to marry Christine. It's adorable. I am so happy for Christine. I am so happy for David. I like David a lot. I really do. I cannot wait to see Christine's wedding. I love David. I am so happy for Christine. I am so happy for David. I look so forward to seeing Christine and David's wedding special in January. I can't wait. I will be off next week and the week after, and I'll be back January 7th for the wedding special for the first part, and the second part, of course, the week after. And after that, I'll resume where I left off with my Sister Wives rewatch. As a viewer, I have to say, I wish Christine and David nothing but every blessing and every happiness in life. Christine seems like a very good, very kind, very compassionate, very nurturing, down-to-earth person. She is very selfless, and she loves her family, and she loves the kids in her family, and she loves her kids, and she nurtures her family, and she deserves this happy ending. I truly hope her wedding is her fairy tale come to life, and that all her days are happy. And with that, I'll say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's, and I will see you all in January. Be safe, be happy, be merry, be peaceful. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye.